Cocoa, one of agricultural gifts to Africa, and also it is well known for its production of chocolate that is well celebrated and loved by people around the world. Well, we also know that there are two countries that are mainly producing this cocoa in a huge quantities. These are Ghana and then La Cote d'Ivoire. Okay, well, now let's see how much these African countries or how much they have really contributed for this cocoa industry or this chocolate industry that the world always love it so much. Okay, let's see how Africa or how much these two countries are investing or improving or producing for the betterment of this industry. Let's go. So recently, African Facts on the page on X shared a post that talks about world's largest cocoa producers per annum. Okay, well, we are going to talk about which countries or the world's countries that actually produce the most of cocoa for production. All right, so it says number 1, Cote d'Ivoire, producing 2.2 million tons. Number 2, Ghana, 1.1 million tons per annum. Number 3, Indonesia, 667,000 tons. Number 4, Ecuador, 337,000 tons. Number 5, Cameroon, 300,000 tons. Number 6, Nigeria, 280,000 tons. Number 7, Brazil, 274,000 tons. Then number 8, Peru, 171,000 tons. Alright, so there you have it, okay? So La Cote d'Ivoire, or should I say Cote d'Ivoire, are actually the highest production of cocoa in the world with 2.2 million tons. Then Ghana being at the second place producing 1.1 million tons. And also we also have some cool figures by some African countries also being well represented. That is Cameroon, Nigeria are also well represented on the top 8 most producers of cocoa per annum. That is really impressive, okay? It's muchly impressive, and I'm glad that Africa is actually competing with the world with something here, and this is a positive thing that we need to encourage. Okay, this is actually huge for African economy. That's pretty cool, and it's pretty much huge. All right, so the source for this whole thing that African Fact Zone used is Visual Capitalist 2022. Okay, so they actually made this. Money says that we are in 2024. Why are we talking about 2022? Well, there has not been any recent thing yet. So, but for now, that's what we have. And Africa is actually leading this with 2.2 million tons, but from Cote d'Ivoire, and 1.1 million tons from Ghana. That means Africa alone is producing about 3.3 million tons per year by only 2 countries making this production. That is pretty cool, okay? So West Africa stand up. That means you have Cameroon, Nigeria, Cote d'Ivoire, and Ghana. West Africa are highly representing Africa on this continent based on cocoa production, and that is pretty awesome to hear. But when this was shared, let's see how some African people talked. I know someone will come in and says, we are talking about African news. Why are we having Peru and Ecuador here? Well, though we are talking about African news, but we are actually highlighting our African countries here on the list, okay? But this one is the world at large, okay? But we're actually highlighting the African aspect here. Okay, so let's continue. So, all right, so to our first comment, this one came in and says, we don't even know what we do with income from this much production. Africa is really behind. Wow, that is where the problem all comes in. That's the big question here. We don't really even know what we do with this all income. Yes, seriously. I'm from Ghana. Ghana is one of the highly or the largest producers of cocoa, and I can tell you for a fact that our government can even borrow money to go and export cocoa, or no, to borrow money to buy cocoa from our farmers for exports. So that means imagine how much we have left. If you borrow money to buy the cocoa for the farmers and go export, you get the money, you have to pay back the loan. So that means the profit we gain is actually pretty peanuts here. It's too bad to be an African sometimes. It's actually too bad to be an African sometimes. I don't know what's wrong with us. Is it mismanagement, or that we don't actually know anything, or what kind of education we even have in Africa though? Because I don't get it. Some small mathematics, it tells so much. Economics is so hard for Africans to just go by. I don't understand some deals that people are making for us, our leaders are making. Sometimes I sit down and I'm like, what is going on in this continent? Are we really safe? Do you have a future in this continent? Well, let's see more. Okay, so this one also came in and says, this is nice, but Africa needs to start finishing the product up before exporting it. That way, we will have more jobs. Well, bro is also highlighting a good point here. That's true though. All these tons that we are making, 2.2 million tons, 1.1 million tons we are doing, could you believe that they are all being sent are we unproductive or unindustrialized, just raw materials, okay? And imagine we also have, as we have such a big or large market or production for this, we also have high industries that are also making sure these things are break down into its various nutrients or its various needs. Can you imagine the kind of jobs this will create? But well, as I said, we don't know what kind of education our leaders had, or how their mind thinks, or how they understand the economics to be. But it's kind of mystery to see Africa actually growing or understanding some basic things of economy. I don't know. Can you tell me? Can you guys tell us why? What is so hard for our leaders to actually crack some simple things? I don't know. I just don't understand though. I don't know how is it so hard for them just to crack some things. I don't get it. Well, let's continue with this. Well, we also know that Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire also have some factories that also are producing their own cocoa too. As you can see on the screen, these are some Ghanaians made in chocolates, and others are also some made in Cote d'Ivoire chocolates too. So try some in your supermarkets, your favorite shopping malls, to get to take part or to just help build these kind of African-made companies too, okay? Make sure if you chop chocolate, it's made in Africa. It could be one of the Ghanaian products or the Cote d'Ivoire product, or even if it's a Nigerian product and it's actually made in Africa. Kindly support these kind of countries or companies, okay? We need to let African companies sustain and also to be able to produce more of these things. We need to export these raw materials into finished goods, okay? Seriously. Well, this one also came and says, LOL, 50% of the 2.2 million tons of Cote d'Ivoire cocoa comes from Ghanaian smugglers. Some Ghanaians smuggling their cocoa to Ivory Coast for good prices. Okay, so man is saying that the 2.2 million tons that Cote d'Ivoire are producing, about 50%, or he said 50% actually are from Ghanaians farmers to the Cote d'Ivoire. Well, I would say that although smuggling are actually happening, I'm from Ghana though, and I've been hearing it, that those cocoa farmers that are close to the Cote d'Ivoire borders are actually smuggling their cocoa out of Ghana to sell for Cote d'Ivoire. But to say 50%, that is huge. Do you know what you're talking about? That's about 1.1 million tons of cocoa being smuggled every year. Are you real? What kind of Ghanaian system you guys are running there? Let's be serious here. The smuggling that's actually going on, as it's two competitive markets close by, so surely everybody, the farmers will have to decide which of them they can actually gain more. Okay, so it's actually normal when two competitors are on the same piece of land, so it's normal here. But don't say 50%. That is outrageous, bro. It's too much. It's not up to that quantity. It's not up to that. Okay, don't let my Ivorians come and chew you as Ghanaians. You beg. This one, our hands are not inside. Alright, so this one also came in and says, most of the cocoa produced in the world comes from yours truly, Africa. The question is, how many Africans consume or can afford to consume the variety of products from the cocoa they produce? It is shameful that many African farmers especially don't even know what chocolate is. Well, when I saw this comment, I got emotional, but it's true too. I grew up in Ghana, and I grew up in the should I say is middle part of Ghana, the southern part of Ghana, the Ashanti region, where we have most of the cocoa farmers. Actually, my family, my great-great-grandfathers are cocoa farmers actually, and I can tell you for a fact that my great-grandfather or my grandmother never tasted chocolate before. It's too bad. And man actually worked so much. He worked so much on that land, and he actually don't know what or how the cocoa will turn into. But he actually knows that it's the cocoa they use for Milo. Oh yeah, for Milo, but he actually don't know anything again apart from that. Well, so it's actually true. Some people in Africa that are producing this don't know the exact use of the cocoa that they are actually producing. Okay. And lastly, this one also came in and says, Nigeria has drastically dropped. Same with oil palm. Africa needs more investment in mechanized farming. Okay, so man is saying that Nigeria has also been dropped from the cocoa production, same in oil palm production too, and we need more modernized way of farming. Well, that's true, but since Nigeria discovered a new good that is away from agriculture to the petroleum, that they are getting crude now, they have let a whole lot of sectors down. They are not the leaders' only dream that they wake up to is either taxing the people or getting the oil money. That's it. Nothing is working again in Nigeria. So we hope the leaders of Africa actually start thinking twice and do something about it, okay? So, well, here is how far Africa is also doing on the world map and concerning the cocoa production, though. We have Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire representing Africa with a huge margin of producing about 3.3 million tons per year. of only cocoa production. That is so cool. And also having Cameroon and Nigeria also representing much. That seems like a West African thing, okay? They are actually holding African down on that sector. The name as we will share say, I hope you have learned something new here. And I hope you are also having some time to enjoy yourself some African content here. Don't forget to subscribe, follow for more, and let's have some time with Africa, because this is African time.